Hello, this is Steve Ramona, your host for Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. I want to thank our sponsors, Infone, and with Infone, you can place your business on everybody's cell phone, turn their business into a web app, and with a click of a button, they'll have access to you 24/7. And also Pantheon.fm. Have you ever thought about monetizing and taking your podcast to the next level? Well, Pantheon can do that. Let us show you how. Reach out to Steve Ramona, the host, at infone.co/SR1, and I will go over with you how you can make your podcast really stand out. Let's enjoy the show. Thanks again, everybody. Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. And this is your host, Steve Ramona. We've got a young man here. I'm 62, so when you hear his age, if we talk about it, he's much younger than me, but he's been through a lot in his life already, and he's actually moving forward to serve people and build a business to do that and overcome all these obstacles that he's had and that you're going to learn about. Hey, Dan, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Steve, for having me. It's an honor to be here, and I'm just so excited to inspire and serve your audience today.
You will do that in spades, I know. And let's just start with the story. Where did it all start for you?
Yeah, so my story has a lot of twists and turns, so I'll give you that condensed version and we can go deeper at any point. So for me, I grew up as an only child with an alcoholic father, and that was very tough for me to navigate growing up as I didn't have any ways to relate with other people or cope with people or just like manage my emotions at that point. So that was always a struggle for me growing up, and things got really bad from fourth to about 10th grade, just constant chaos at home. My mom and I were actually bouncing around to different family members because it wasn't safe at home. None of my friends at school knew about what was going on. My dad was in and out of rehab. He got some multiple DUIs and he went to jail for a little bit because of all of that. So had to really mature at a young age and almost be that like man of the house at a really early age. And that was something that you can't really prepare for, especially when you don't have that male figure in your life to help prepare you. So that was difficult. And something that really surprises people nowadays is that I was a really angry person for most of my life because of all of that. And I didn't have any relationship with faith or that higher source because I was all, even though my mom, that was her thing. She always tried to guide me in that direction. But I always just asked myself, like, why would God do this to someone? Or what did I do to deserve this? And I was asking the wrong questions at the time. And I was just living in that survival mode for years with those suppressed emotions. It built up that stress and anger, and I did not have the tools to manage. So, fast forward a little bit, going into my senior year of high school, things kind of slowed down a little bit. They're doing good, but that's when my life really, really changed. Everything changed. So, I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis in 2015, weeks before that senior year, and my illness just continued to rapidly progress. And I was homebound for those. I made it for the first 2 weeks of classes, and then I was homebound for the rest of the year. So that shows like how bad it got at really fast early stages of it. And honestly, I fell into a really dark suicidal headspace at that time because I'm this athletic kid. I'm on the basketball team, and now I'm stuck in my bed in the bathroom every day. And it was just this dark period in my life where, my hopes and dreams, everything, my entire future just came crashing down in a matter of weeks. So I couldn't really see a future beyond my illness at that point. And that was a tough year to go through. And then 4 days after graduation, I had the first of two surgeries that removed my entire colon. And that's when, I slipped back into this depressive, angry headspace again because I knew this was going to happen, but you can't prepare for something like that. It's just so deep. And so that took a lot of willpower to get through that. And that was in 2016 when I had that second surgery. And 2017 was actually this trial and error period where things were starting to get better. But then in 2018, February 2018, that's when I had my last rock bottom. And that's what really catapulted my life to be the person that I am today. And so what happened was within 1 week span, I was diagnosed with mono and E. coli infection. I got an intestinal blockage because I only have my small intestine right now. And that's that's a whole complication that I have to manage. And then at the same time, my girlfriend of 3.5 years, she ended up suddenly breaking up with me. So I just felt alone and pretty much like shattered all over the floor. And I was left to pick up those pieces. And again, there's so much going through at these times. And I just, I fell back to my lowest weight. And obviously, I was upset about my girlfriend. But the thing that really ignited the fire in me was losing that weight and going back to basically ground zero. And it felt like I'm never going to get over this illness. Like it always just has its claws wrapped around me.
Yeah.
And man, that was from that point on, I was like, this is never happening again. So I started going to the gym like a madman 5 days a week at that point. I'm eating extremely healthy with my diet. I'm, getting into podcasts. I'm looking at personal development articles online. And I even won this book giveaway on Instagram. And that really put me down this journey of personal development and just discovering more. And really the thing that really was like the tipping point was Stoic philosophy, something that we have in common. And that showed me that it's not so much what happens to you, it's how you respond. And from that moment forward, I was always looking at what can I do to improve my situation, and really the rest is history in a positive note going forward.
Yeah, and the phrase that comes to my head is, if you never give up, you never fail. And that's what you did. And, I'm listening to your story. I'm sure the audience is, alcoholic dad, wrong question. And you were fired by one event, winning this book on Instagram. You said it, and I could tell in your voice. How does that relate to other people? And how can you relate to finding that win? It's a win.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I'm just searching for anything good to come in my life. And, when something like that happens, when you win a giveaway from someone that has like 2 million followers on Instagram, that's almost like a sign. Like this was supposed to happen. And, that I took that book very serious. I have it right here next to me, actually. It's Own the Day, Own Your Life by Aubrey Marcus. And that really just shows you how to start your day from the morning, optimize your morning, know what foods to eat, know how to exercise, get your sunlight, all of these things that stack up step by step to have an amazing optimized day. And then that leads into the next day. That leads into a great week, a great week, a great month, a great year, a great life. And, that concept really just showed me that, oh, I can I can do these things and I can almost determine my own destiny with with the decisions that I make today. So that was a really eye-opening experience for me.
No, and it's funny you say that. And I heard a comment this yesterday. Just because I eat a salad today doesn't mean I'm hugging this ice cream tomorrow. It's the consistency of doing it and doing it. And this is what's great about your story. It's led you to what you're doing today. And what's that?
Yeah, so that's interesting. So in 2019, I started this blog post. It was just those first 4 years of what I went through because I wasn't really talking to people. I didn't even have the words to explain it. So I just started this blog post to help someone in a similar situation because I knew from being in the hospital for so many days that other people, other kids are struggling with this same condition, and even just digestive issues in general at large. Like, that's a big problem. And so, man, I just wanted to share my story, share the tips and lessons that I learned on my journey in those 4 years to help that one person. And, I didn't know what was going to happen from there, but I knew I couldn't stop there. I had this calling from within that you have to keep going. And so 2 months after that, I came up with my tagline still today, EMG, which stands for experiences plus mindset equals growth. That's actually what my podcast is called, EMG Transformations, that launched this year. So that's been an idea for a while. And really, I came up with that from my experiences and my story of having to go through those tough times. And even with my logo, like, the fire is those experiences. You have to walk through that fire sometimes and, be tested before you can have that shift, that mindset shift. And with the yin yang, that's the mindset. There's always a sense of duality in every situation. And no matter how bad things may seem, there's always that speck of glimmer and hope that you can find and turn that into a positive. And so that's what I did with my story, and that led to the growth. And with other people, I found that this was very universal. It wasn't just me. It was that you look at any great person in history, we see their achievements, but when you look back at the layers, there's so much trials and tribulations that they had to go through to become that person that we see today. And I was like, okay, I think I got something here. So we ran with the EMG, did a couple more blog posts, and in 2020, when I was at Michigan State University during that whole COVID lockdown year, I really got inspired to turn this into something bigger than myself, because it was just this blog, danstowell.co. I wanted to get away from Dan and make a community and a brand. And so that's when Nova Fusion was created. And I just wanted this platform to really be that beacon of hope and inspiration, to show that we're all going through tough times behind the scenes. And, it doesn't matter what you're going through, it's that you can get through it. And sharing stories like mine, sharing stories like yours, and all these other great people, that just shows you that it's possible. And I want to be that beacon of hope and give them the tools, especially because it's not just the inspiration. We have to show the how as well. And how do you actually get through those tough times? It's easier said than done. So
Yeah.
that's what we do today. And we're just health and wellness and inspiring positivity.
That's fantastic. And the tough times have the word tough in it. Tells you it's not easy. It's not easy times. It's tough times for a reason.
Yeah.
So what do you do with the client? Client comes in. Walk through the journey of someone becoming a client of yours.
Yeah. So right now we got this 21-day wellness and resilience challenge. That's my main thing right now. And what that is it's a group setting, actually. So you get in the community and you're in there for life. So after these 21 days, if you're still, you're having a rough day 6 months from now, you can still tap into that community. But what this 21 days is really just building healthy habits that I've learned on my 8+ journey of being diagnosed with Crohn's and navigating through this journey. It's 21 days of healthy habits that you can stack to build momentum and accumulate those into your daily and weekly routines, so that you can create these lasting lifestyle adjustments and changes to your life that really bring on that transformation and the results. So what would that look like? Maybe day 2, attitude of gratitude. Let's set the tone and really prime ourselves in the morning. That first hour, let's own that. Just like own the day, own your life. Let's own that hour and start that with positivity, because so many times we wait for events to determine how our day was. And I'm saying, no, you can determine if you're having a good or bad day the moment you wake up, with priming yourself with affirmations. Something else might be getting in the cold, doing a cold plunge, testing that mental resilience. And there's also a lot of health benefits to that. But those are some examples of what we're incorporating into other people's lives and adding to their toolkit, because that's the thing. Like, life is going to come, life will strike. And my thing is to be ready for when that happens. We can't escape the tough times, like you said, they're always coming. So might as well be prepared for when that does happen. And that's what these 21 days are for.
And you handle the mental and the physical side,
Oh
which
yeah,
is unique.
mental. Yeah, mental, physical, because and emotional, spiritual. Like we really try to tap all three of those into it and really incorporate this holistic approach to healing.
If somebody wants to come and become a client or learn more, how can they reach out to you?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. That's my main thing at Nova Fusion Co. Also, website novafusion.co and LinkedIn at Dan Stowell. So either of those three can definitely get a hold of me.
Well, audiences, you can see his story leads to some experience, which means he can help. So I'm going to add fuel to the fire. I'm going to top right into your logo. So let's put some gas in that fire. The first 4 people that reach out to Dan from this podcast, mention this podcast, I'll give them a $20 Amazon gift card. So Dan, when you get somebody that mentions the podcast, just send me their name. I'll get their email and they'll get an instant $20 Amazon gift card.
Yeah, and you can even get a book, Own Your Day, Own Your Life, or we got another one, The Obstacle is the Way. Like, some of those books can really make that dramatic impact in your life. So invest in yourself, guys.
There you go. Get books, get $20 Amazon gift cards. It's all good. What is your dream for this business? What do you want to see in the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, man, that's a good question. I just want to create the biggest impact that I can. And, everyone says that, but really everything that I do is a full circle, comes back to that blog post of wanting to help that one person in a similar situation. So really for me, growing the podcast, getting these inspirational stories, we're going to get you on as well, but getting those stories and just inspiring people and showing that there is hope and you don't have to be stuck in this situation. You can transform and pivot your life at any moment. And you don't have to wait for that breakdown to happen before you have the breakthrough. Because, like me in my life, I waited for the breakdown before I really catapulted my life and found my purpose. So I want to show people that no, let's live a life of abundance right now. Let's tap into the good in life and not wait for the bad to happen before we experience that. So I just want to be speaking of hope and positivity. And when you see this logo, like, I want you to get inspired. Like, that's my thing. Like, I want to be a timeless icon and message that of just hope and positivity. Like, that's my ultimate goal, to still be around 100 years from now.
And you said impact, and you're right. Everybody says impact, and I hope everybody says they make an impact in this world because the world will change. Here's the difference: is doing something about it. Don't just say you're going to make an impact. And what I love about you, Dan, is you have a story that could have changed your whole life. That's an impact right there. Getting on podcasts like mine and sharing your story, because somebody may be listening with colitis or Crohn's disease and go, my life's over. And they listen to Dan Stowell and go, my life ain't over.
No, it's just
That's
getting.
an impact. So you're doing it, my friend. And I know it's not easy. I have a lot of guests that have gone through mental health issues. And for you to bring it up here today is powerful for this audience. And I hope you guys reach out to them, Amazon gift card or not, whether you're the first 4 or not. Doesn't matter. Reach out to them. And do you invite people to these communities to test it out? Or do you do a discovery call? How would somebody, when they connect with you, how do you handle that?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys are just reaching out from this podcast, like, let's just hop on a call. And, like, I'm not going to charge for that or anything. I'm genuinely enjoy connecting with people and building those relationships. So I'm seriously happy to connect with anyone that reaches out.
I got to think too, from those dark days that you had, that you're just flourishing in happiness, because it could have been really dark, right?
Yeah, man, it definitely gives you that contrast in life. And with that said, I still have my daily struggles and battles and things that I go through that I don't necessarily talk about, but it's still there. But it definitely gives you that contrast from when you're just in bed, and after surgery, I couldn't get out of bed on my own. Like, my mom or girlfriend had to help me out as a 20-year-old. Like, that is so debilitating. And also, I was so insecure to share my story at first. So if anyone has a condition like this, don't think of it as a label on yourself, because that's what I did. And once you put that label, that becomes a limitation, that becomes this negative identity and association, and your self-worth will go straight down the gutter with that. So think positive. Even with Nova, like, that's my, alter ego identity, where I stepped out of Dan, that sick version of myself, and I had to step into the person that you see today that, has a smile. I'm energetic. I want to help people. And I'm not afraid to share my story, because it's not about me. It's about you guys, and transferring this message. And so you guys can apply it. Information is essentially useless without that implementation,
Yeah.
because that's where that transformation really comes from.
And I'm glad you mentioned you still have struggling days,
Yeah.
because we all do. Yours a little deeper than mine and somebody else on the show, but whether it is you lost something and your phone, you couldn't find it for 6 hours. We have that in life. That's called life.
Yeah.
But I love that you said that, because you're open to that. You're not healed, and you'll never be healed. You're going to manage this the rest of your life, but you're going to manage it with a smile
Yeah.
and sharing and helping people. And I'm glad I said that, because that's huge. How many people that want sympathy? And I look at that mountain behind you, and we've talked about this before last time we talked. I think 5 years ago you never thought you could climb that mountain. Today you might even try it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll give it a try.
See, I mean, just how you even think about it. An audience, I want pick that up. You know his story now. Pick what he just did. So when you got a hangnail today, or you missed an appointment, or somebody didn't show up, or you didn't get a sale, or you thought you were going to get this big sale income, move forward. 30 seconds of pity, and then move forward and be like Dan. Hey, that's a good phrase. Be like Dan. I like that. I really appreciate you. We're running out of time here. I'm going to bring you back, because I'm going to speak a little bit, because I don't like to do this. It's about you, but being so young as you are, I'm glad you're mentioning this, because it's much different when a 20-year-old has to stay in bed than a 70-year-old. It's not expected, but you're like, oh yeah, he's 70. We all do it. Oh, he's 70, he's 80. Yeah, he's going to have those issues, but not at 20.
Yeah. You don't look forward to that. You
Yeah,
don't
not at
prepare for that.
your senior in high school in your bed the whole time. And I thank the Lord, and I thank you for not letting it stop you, and that you're helping people today.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Please, people, reach out to him. Reach out to me, and I'll tell you about him. If you need to go through me, I'll do it. I'll connect you. Whatever you want to do. But thank you for being on. God bless you. I'm here to support you any way I can. And if you could do me one more favor, what's a tip that you've learned through all this that could help my audience in their life?
Yeah. So something that really comes to mind right now, and especially with what you just said, is you can always do more than you think. I did not think I could get through any of those experiences. And that's why I wanted to actually end my life, because I couldn't see that future without having to go through all of this and with those surgeries. And I realized that what hurts today isn't going to hurt as bad as tomorrow. In a week, it's going to feel a lot lighter. And surround yourself with that support system, because there was a time where I couldn't do it for me anymore. And what kept me going was not transferring the pain that I was feeling onto the ones that supported and believed in me the most, like my mom and my grandpa and my girlfriend at the time. I was there for them at that point, because it wasn't fair for me to do that transfer, and I couldn't live with myself, even though I wouldn't be here anymore, in a sense. So, you know, I just recommend people to get those right people in their life, because we can only do so much on our own, and we are much stronger together. So, just make sure you have those people that you can really lean on in times of need.